Today I would like to talk about secondhand lives, and before I go on I would like to disclose that this video is going to contain somewhat of a spoiler to The Fountainhead, which is Ayn Rand's first big novel, and Ayn Rand is the founder of the objectivist philosophy. So if you can imagine reading that book, and I highly recommend you do, then you may want to skip this video, but I'm not going to give away the major plot or anything. So Secondhand Lives is actually the working title that Rand gave to The Fountainhead, right? And it's hinting at the main theme of the book, which is to contrast the second-handers with the creators. And so the second-handers, I'm going to give some quotes of a particular speech of the book. They are described as having no self, and in that way they are literally selfless. They live within others. They live secondhand. They strive for fame, for admiration, for envy, for all of those things which come from others, right? And in regards to their second-handers' convictions, they don't actually hold convictions themselves, right? Because they ask not what is true, but what do other people believe to be true? And whatever those things are, they hold as their own quote-unquote convictions, and they're just glad when other people think that they actually hold those convictions, but they don't. And so for the second-hander, other people are their prime motive, right? They're their prime concern. And they don't want to be great, but they want to be admired as being great. They don't want to build, they want to be admired as a builder, right? And in regards to making money, which in and of itself is not a bad thing, I quote, "Money is only a means to some end. If a man wants it for a personal purpose, to invest in his industry, to create, to study, to travel, to enjoy luxury, he's completely moral. But the men who place money first, they go much beyond that. Personal luxury is a limited endeavor. What they want, the second-handers, is ostentation, which is the pretentious or showy display of wealth and luxury designed to impress. The second-hander wants to show, he wants to stun, to entertain, to impress others." Now, while the second-handers' focus is on others, only the creator or the productive or the fountainhead can focus on the truth, independent of what other people believe to be true. And only if you focus on reality in that way, using reason, once again independent of what others would approve of, then you can actually be productive and make the world better, right? And so there is this huge clash depicted in The Fountainhead between the second-handers or the parasites and the primal creators, the fountainheads. I personally found it hugely valuable to learn about the concept of second-hand lives because it implies the question to which degree I myself am living second-hand, to which degree I am basing my actions or choices on other people's perception of the effects of those choices or the choices themselves. Actually, thinking about this topic reminded me of a situation in back in the day in university. So at that time I was relatively new to changing my diet quite radically from, just normal mixed diet towards a plant-based diet. And I was talking to a fellow student, and she was quite curious about the topic I found. At least the conversation went on for quite a while, and I was talking to her, naturally about my convictions. I confidently stated that, meat and dairy is actually unhealthy and all of these other things. And I got these huge wide eyes and this 1,000-mile stare. And at the time I was so naive to think that I was making an impact, that maybe I was even red-pilling her and, getting her on the train and get her to change her life for the better. and all of these things. But I believe that for her, there was a conflict between, the person standing in front of her, and I was confidently stating my convictions, right? But in her head, the conflict arose between that guy, one single guy, and we weren't friends or anything, and her whole social circle, right? Her family, her friends, her acquaintances, the entire society we live in, doesn't hold the convictions that I was stating confidently. So I believe that this was creating this conflict, and knowing about the existence of second-handers is now really helping me understand the different choices that certain people make, right? And the different kind or the different flavors of conversation that one can have. Because, this helps if you know yourself that you don't put much emphasis on other people's approval of your choices, then it's really important to know that most people do very much emphasize other people's approval, and that if you come to them and talk about truth and reality, which may be assertions that they don't themselves hold, you're not going to be particularly effective, because second-handers don't care about the truth. They care about others, right? So I thought this is kind of a fascinating topic, and this is all what I got for you today. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.